When I started collecting cameras, I would often go to auctions and see things called wood and brass cameras. Wood and brass cameras are obviously made from wood and obviously normally have some brass parts to them. These cameras often rent for quite high prices, and I was never able to buy one. However, in the last year, wood and brass cameras market has actually, for some reason, fallen. I think they are quite complicated to use, they are getting quite old in use, and maybe the collectors that they were have sadly died. So I have noticed in the past year, as I said, camera prices have fallen in this market. And I was able to buy this one here recently for quite a fair price. But what I really like about this, and I'm going to talk about it, is it's in very usable condition. I have used it, got a couple of nice images, but I'm going to demonstrate to you eventually how to use it. Might even do this video in 2 parts, this being part 1. So, what we actually have here is a Lancaster camera. That's not to say it was made in Lancaster, it was actually made in Birmingham. Birmingham is a city in the middle of England that flourished as an enormous manufacturing centre, particularly for metalwork. But as you can see here, we have a wooden camera. Lancaster made some great cameras, particularly from about 1896 to about 1908. They made a whole range of these Instantograph. It's got an O in the middle, so I'm not exactly sure whether they say Instantograph. And obviously this is 120 years before Instagram, but it's interesting that the term Instantograph is being used there. Notice graph, not gram, right? Now, say that doesn't look much like a camera, it looks like a wooden box. So first of all, we have to erect the camera, and we do that by pulling down what people often refer to as tailboard and bringing out bellows. Now, this is where we have these metal movements. It's possible to move the camera up and down. I notice I'm missing a little movement there, which is annoying because I'm sure I did have that. And you can focus on the front here. Now, you will notice at this point that there is something missing. The lens. Whoops. And the person who had obviously looked after this camera before has made a nice little lens cap which goes on there. And I'm just going to pop the lens board in. And I think it's an American lens. Just let me check. It looks like a Lone and Bush lens. First of all, I thought it was a American lens, but I think it's the shutter that is American and the Cooke. And it's actually a Cooke lens, and it's a 5x4 lens, and it looks a really nice lens. Cooke lenses to this day are fantastic lenses. They make a lot of lenses for the cinema industry, and they were connected to the Taylor Hobson company. So a Cooke lens, this camera gets better and better in my understanding. To set the shutter, you've got shutter speeds here, you simply bring that down and there's the shutter there. And as I said, the shutter and lens is in both nice working order. The lens seems in very good condition, and the bellows again seem to be light proof. Now, so that is the lens, the shutter. Movements on the camera, as I said, you can move the front up and down, and you not only can you move the front up and down, you can. The whole idea as well is you've got what are referred to as. So you can move the lens up and down here, and you might think, why do you want to do that? And we can. So you've got movements going up and down here. The reason you might want to do that is this thing called converging parallel lines. And this is a view, the way you view this camera. So we've got camera movements there. As I said, bring it to the front there, lock it. You can lock it out the front here and then use these movements here for focusing. Now, how do I actually focus? Well, you've got something called this ground screen here, and you have to open the shutter to focus. So I'm going to move the shutter to B. Right, I have put the camera on T for time, and you can see through here my little light on the mobile phone, right? And I can then focus the front here, and that is how I compose my image. Now, you will see this when I go out into the field, but the image is actually upside down, which makes it interesting. And you need to have a cloak around the camera so you can actually see. So you have to open up the shutter to actually focus. So you open up the shutter and you can then focus. So we have now focused the image. How do we actually take the image? Well, on here, this is called a dark slide. Now, on this dark slide, I'm going to slide this into the camera. So I don't need the focusing screen. I'm going to slide that in. I then make sure the shutter is set to what I want. So I take it off time and I'm going to put it on the 30th of a second. So I put it on the 30th. I do whatever setting I need. Then I'm going to take the dark slide out, expose it, put the dark slide in, reverse it, and do it all over again. Now, what is he going on about? I'll try that again. That is the dark slide. I will take the dark slide off, take the photo, put it back, because as soon as I take the dark slide off, I'm exposing the film. That all seems a bit complicated. And I can tell you, it is a faff to take a photograph. But I'm going to try it. I'm going to try it out in the field, and we'll see what happens.